Infections, just to make sure.
Yes. I'm Barb Smith.
Leanne Shank.
And Melissa Kolbitsky. And this is the Wellness Committee. You know, do you want their names as well?
Sure.
Dan Seaman. Chris Sodds.
Danielle Hogg. Stephanie Knoll.
Karen Alonso.
Sue Emmerich.
Okay.
Thank you.
On
We're missing
behalf,
some members. Do you want to list who we're missing? The Joes.
Yeah, Joe Morales, he is out on vacation right now. Who else are we missing?
Joe Motter.
Joe Motter.
Dawn.
Yeah.
And Dawn
And Dawn
Idris.
Idris. Melissa, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. Old habits.
okay. On behalf of the Lebanon County Wellness Warriors, first of all, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to give this PowerPoint presentation. So, we'll just follow along with the screen. And before I tell you where we are now, let me first mention that on February 23rd, 2016, we held our first meeting as a committee. We are now in our third year, and since that time, we have doubled in size, now boasting 12 dedicated members. We meet monthly, and what we do is we explore ways to make a difference in the health and well-being of ourselves as well as fellow employees. In January of this year, we met with our wellness representative, Sheila Fulton, and she was very impressed with our energy level and our commitment to the program. We wowed her. The program is gaining popularity, for since its inception, we have seen steady and increased participation from the county employees. In January of this year, we conducted a wellness survey, and we gave a 2-week window in which participants were asked to respond. The survey was sent by email to all employees. It was kept simple and concise. The response and feedback we received was very exciting. And I'm going to just pass around a copy of the survey. You don't need to read it now, but just to give you an idea how simple, how concise it was. There's another one. And take it away, Leanne.
So now we want to share the results with you. We had an overall positive response, but we were very happy. We had 118 employees respond to the survey. Question 1, we found that the majority of employees are planning to make changes in their life. 66 are thinking about making behavioral changes to become a healthier individual. 23 have a plan already in place, and 21 have already made health changes in their life. Question 4 and 5, the most popular days they felt to hold a lunch and learn would be a Tuesday or a Wednesday. And question 6 and 7 was concerning incentives and participation in the wellness program. 85 respondents said that they would be more likely to participate in a wellness program if there were incentives. 75 respondents would like to see a paid day off incentive reward for being well or healthy, which we could maybe visit in the future. 56 respondents are happy with the non-cash rewards we offer now. And moving on, question 8. Healthy choices at work. A majority, 52 respondents, believe that there are no healthy food choices in the cafeteria. When given the option, 77 said that they would be likely to participate in a Wellness Wednesday. This is something we'll elaborate on later in a later slide. Question 10, employees were given a list of 22 wellness activities and programs that they would be more likely to participate in. And with 79 responses, the top 3 selected were exercise and fitness, weight loss and management, and stress management. Question 10, we asked for additional thoughts. And what we saw most in this category was in the past 2 years, we have generally, well, we've always met in the auditorium. If you've attended any of those lunch and learns, what happens is they would get their food, and then they would go in and listen to the presentation while eating their food, basically on the plate on their lap. This wasn't always the best option or the best setup, depending on the food situation, or selection. So we recently coordinated a new location for all our lunch and learns in the lower level of the courthouse, adjacent to the cafeteria. That will be more conducive. The employee can sit at a table, eat their lunch, enjoy the presentation. This will be held at room 17. And then question 12 of our survey, we asked for additional thoughts and comments, and we want to share some of them with you. They're up on the screen. And then in the next slide, we asked for noteworthy suggestions. And again, we would like to share some of them with you.
That water dispenser thing, I understand what you're saying, because at the senior center, you have the old-fashioned little button, and you can't get your water bottle under it to refill it.
Mm-hmm.
So I know what they're talking about there.
Are these in any particular order of, no?
You
Save the best for last.
You can look at that.
ready for the next slide?
Okay, so moving forward. At our meeting, one of the things that we discussed was a way that we could have the Lebanon County employees give back. We know that we're in an honored position to represent the county, and we thought it would be great to be able to do something over our lunchtime. And one of the things that we talked about was litter pickup. And in the discussion, it was interesting here, we thought about cleaning up possibly the parking lots or the pavements around us. And someone had mentioned the park, and it's interesting because Joe Morales has on his own time been cleaning Fisher's Park. I think he said he does it once a week. And it's so located closely to the courthouse, it would make sense that that could be a park that we would adopt. It is a city park, so Joe talked to the mayor and he talked to the city clerk, and they would be very happy to have the employees adopt the park for cleanup. They even said that we could take the garbage over to the city garage and they would dispose of it. So I think that would be something that we would really like to move forward with. Another thing that we've looked at is downstairs, the cafeteria setup and some of the food choices. When we sent out the survey, one of the questions in there actually talks about the cafeteria. And it was kind of humorous, but some employees wrote back with a circle, what cafeteria? And so that made us realize that maybe we should look at the cafeteria and look at different ways to make it more inviting. And some of the things that we thought about doing were switching out some of the long tables and putting more round tables in. Possibly getting a television down there that would be turned on to a local news station. We thought about, since we are a wellness committee that also involves food and eating well, so we thought about establishing a monthly wellness Wednesday where possibly we could have an outside vendor come in and sell healthy food to the employees. That was a question that when we put that in the survey, they actually gave us a list of things that they would like to see, and they would be willing to buy it. Another thing that we looked at was possibly upgrading our vending machine food choices. I have spoken to some who are in the vending business, and they said increasingly that is a common request that they get for healthier food choices.
You don't have a fruit machine down there, do you? Is it?
And one of the things that he mentioned was that they can accommodate those requests, sometimes quite simply, sometimes it's more involved. But one of the things that he said he often does is designate 2 or 3 shelves with just healthy choices where they might put apples or fruit, soup in it. Or actually switch out the whole food line and put more healthier options in. So since we're talking about the vending machines and the selections, we'd actually like to mention a few of our observations about the ones that we have downstairs. We are grateful we have vending machines down there. I'm sure all of us have been down there and had the snacks.
Has that ever been bid out to see if there are other local vendors that might enjoy the option of putting in food?
I don't
That
know
we've
where-
done.
We did a couple years ago talk about that in Dennis with Richard, and it didn't go anywhere. And
I was
don't
gonna
know.
say, because a local vendor did ask, and he said the one that's there now is not from the county. So that's why I
Well,
wondered.
they do have a presence on in Lebanon County.
Yeah, the number of different boulevard.
Yeah, Bittner Boulevard. So,
I do believe that there would be interest out there if it was ever bid. But some of the observations that we've had about the vending machines downstairs is that they can often sit empty for several days. They can be broken and sit between 4 and 5 days. We've looked at them and noticed that they're dirty. There are times we've seen mold in them. Although we do have 2 soda machines down there and several options for drinking, a lot of them are the high sugar options. The snack machine, when we looked it over, contains just about 90% junk food, and even the ones that are marked healthy really aren't. And then the lunch machine, or the machine that would have the lunch options, a lot of those things are often high in sodium, calories, and sugar, so they aren't really healthy either. So what we'd like to do is have a conversation with our present vendor and see if he could upgrade and help us with some of the choices that we'd like, the healthier choices that we'd like to see made, or if not, then possibly look into finding another vendor. Another idea that we talked about was actually maybe renovating the cafeteria. We're aware that there's a kitchen down there, and if the one row of vending machines was removed, we could actually have a functioning kitchen. So I don't know what would be involved, but if we could actually get someone in, then the employees could have hot, fresh food every day of the week. I think right now it's being used for class storage with voter registration. We understand that could happen overnight, but it's definitely an option since we have a kitchen down there.
To just mention something that I recently found out when I talked to Fred Briggs from Capital Blue Cross. He said that they have a nutritionist at Capital Blue Cross that often comes into businesses and does an evaluation of the lunchroom and gives you options of how to put healthier foods in and lay it out and stuff like that. That would be something that we'd be interested in doing.
As an incentive for completing the survey, we asked all participants to, while we entered their names, first of all, they all received a token, and I don't know if you're all familiar with this or not, but anytime they do participate in one of our wellness lunch and learns or the walk, they get a token, and then they can turn it in for the non-cash prizes, which we have a catalog of. So all participants received a token, and they had their name entered in the drawing. So we do have those names here, and I'd like to know who would like to do the honor of pulling the winning name. And that is what we are giving them, the prize basket is going to
The prize box.
Drew Persky.
True
Oh,
precision.
I think it's
GIS.
GIS.
GIS, yes.
GIS, okay, so we'll make a note of that. And then in closing, we'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have at this time. And if there aren't any, again, we just want to thank you for all the time and for allowing us to present this to you.
I have a couple of questions.
Yes.
First of all, the park, I think that's a cool idea to get participation outside and so on. But maybe since we have Monument Park, and I know that really doesn't need attention, if Joe's already doing that once a week, and I'm not saying, but maybe rotate, maybe do a year and say, hey, we've taken care of it from your city, why don't you get your employees to do that one, and we'll do Monument, or something like that, just as a way of maybe covering both. But I know Monument gets a lot of activity with people, and they could probably use the attention, and it is a county, so.
And I agree, and then the rail trail too, this county.
And then the other thought, I support the TV and the tables, just to change things up down there. But other buildings, can we do this maybe as a comprehensive wellness look at the other, like the probation building and different, where they may need the same kind of attention but on a smaller scale? Because that, to me, so we're giving attention to all the employees and considering them in what we're doing. And then finally with the vendor, I would, if Dennis, because that's who I was dealing with, trying to get some movement on a competitive bid or something, and it just sort of either lack of interest on whatever end, I'm not even gonna go there, but maybe this committee or a part of your committee could meet with this vendor in lieu of Dennis meeting with them or something, because you guys know what you're looking for, and what the expectation bar can be, maybe higher than it's been. So that if you want to stay here, now you don't have to go there, but, you know, I think that would be a cool thing to upgrade, just to put them more on their feet, you know?
With your blessing, we'd be more than happy to
Well, I
do
think
that.
that is maybe the blessing you need, because he's the guy that deals with the vendors, so.
Okay.
But, I mean, that's just a thought from, you know, you guys are activists on this thing, and I think you need the energy of it.
I'd like to respond back to your observation about involving the other county buildings. That is something we discussed, we just weren't sure how to go about it, because we did have people, employees on the surveys often comment that, well, we're not in the main building, or we can't make these lunch and learns, or whatever. And we were trying to figure out how we could create a situation where they would all feel included.
Maybe another county that has an older program would be helpful to get some ideas, but, you know, it's gotta be a way, at least for inclusion, you know, and so we're not just, maybe they'd get a smaller TV.
And I don't know that there's any vending machines, for instance, down at MHIDEI. If there are, I've never seen them. But maybe just a vending machine there with an assortment of healthy choices would be something. And the area agency and aging, I mean, there's some pretty big buildings that have traffic. I mean, area agency and aging gets a lot of traffic. If I forget my water bottle, I can't buy a bottle of water. I have to go out and sip at that little tiny fountain, so. Just a thought.
We can definitely do an assessment of the other buildings and what they have to offer and stuff. We've had talks before in our committee meetings about bringing a local farmer, you know, the farm shares that you can purchase with their vegetables and stuff, having them come in and bringing fresh vegetables and fruit and, you know, to the different departments just for the employees to, just as an offer.
They could probably sell a lot of strawberries.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you had to build your team to have at least one rep from each building, that might give everybody some buy-in that, hey, here's what you know, they're doing at the big house, you know.
Okay.
Very good.
Well, thank you
Just
very
want
much.
to thank you for your efforts.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Very good.
It's very
I
refreshing.
like the energy.
It's awesome. Very good.
Oh, we wanted
Oh,
to
we
get this,
forgot.
we do have a cup of Hormel chili for whomever is.
Really?
Michelle and I
Brave
were
enough
actually
to.
watching this for probably a month in the vending
No,
machine.
we've been watching that for like 6 months.
Okay, well, it expired August of last year, and I went down last week and bought it.
To show.
Yeah.
Keep
We're
that for
supposed to
your-
share that props here.
Our service is valued.